Hello everyone and welcome to another of these multiplayer co-op missions in DCS World. This one is back on the Battle of Dubai campaign that we've been running, and on this one, this is our second mission, Retreat. This one is in a little bit of a different format to normal, but we'll get into that after the briefing, so for now I will let my past self take it away. Right, so welcome to second mission of this campaign, same day as the last one. It is now 8 o'clock at night. We are now in civil war, so the Prime Minister based in Dubai is the name of the city. He is being backed by Iranian troops that have landed, and he has declared the president, based in Abu Dhabi, to be a Western sympathiser, a traitor, and has ordered his arrest. The president, whose side we're on, has ordered the Prime Minister's arrest, and various military units across the country are picking one side or the other. We right now do hold Al Maktoum International, where we left off the president last time. He has been evacuated to Abu Dhabi. A small garrison was left behind, but since then it has been realised that we cannot hold Al Maktoum, and so we are going to evacuate everyone from there. Problem is that enemy units are already starting to move towards Al Maktoum, so we need to cover the retreat. The retreat pathway is marked on the F10 map, is also there on your briefing. They will make their way down the road codenamed Kiel, then down road codenamed Suez, before finally getting onto the road codename Panama. They get all the way back into the green zone where they are safe. Our job is to try and keep them alive until then. We do have friendly units on the ground assisting us. There are 4 Abrams tanks who will be holding the junction between Suez and Panama to cover the convoy's retreat. Once the convoy's passed, they will then try and withdraw. We know that there are multiple ground units moving throughout the city, including tanks and IFVs. The only air defence that we are aware of is multiple shilkers are emitting within the city. No other air defence is known about, but the shilkers are dangerous. They did take a couple of hours down last time, so we do need to be careful about those. We're not expecting any enemy air, but we should keep your eyes out. We do have an E2 over the carrier, so we will get advance warning if anything is heading over from Iran. Otherwise, keep your eyes peeled. In terms of rules of engagement, you will have the allied units marked on your F10 map. That's filling the role for the IFF systems. Anything north of those units is free to engage. If you're engaging units within the city, only use precision munitions. Otherwise, free to engage anything that has exited the city with whatever munitions you have. No hard deck, but do just be aware that if you are flying low, you will be a target for shilkers and anything else that is down there. Big challenge for this one is simply going to be not crashing into each other. We have a bunch of folks here, and it's a night mission, so do keep your eyes out. Ideally try and call out where you are and if you're going in, and try and keep your wits about you. In terms of spawning, you have free respawns everywhere except at Al Maktoum. If you spawn at Al Maktoum, you can only do that once. Because after that it doesn't make sense that helicopters will be taking off, since the ground crews are on the trucks that are leaving. Otherwise, I believe that is everything. Any lovely questions? So, because this was a night operation, I did get some views, and the third-person recording did work with the track file, but again, it's night, so can't see too much. Thought to give an actual accurate representation of what happened, we're going to use the Tacview here. And so I'll be giving a bit of a voiced overview of how the mission went, how everyone performed during it, and try and pick out the major things. Might well miss a few things, but hopefully I'll catch all the major ones. So right now here you can see that we've just started. The A-10 flights are taking off from the nearer airfield. All of the jets are taking off from the further airfield and are on their way rather quickly. And it's just poor Tomster here who's taken off in the one and only helicopter right from Al Maktoum International Airfield. And as we can see already, there are enemies on their way. So these are the convoys here. They have started pulling down. We've got Lightfoot and followed by Bruiser. Got the Allied tanks holding position over there. Got some light scattered units coming through, including infantry approaching the airfield initially here. And then we have these big column convoys on their way, which are going to be much bigger of a problem. For now, though, it is just up to Tomster here to try and hold his ground, and you can see there he has already fired off the first weapon of the day, a Hellfire K, at one of this pair of Iranian BMDs. Before the first one hits, he's already launched the second. And you can see here, it's coming nicely. First one gets a shack. The second tries to go and evade a bit, but it's not going to be enough to evade the missile. So there we go, first blood of the day goes to Tomster, so a good solid start there. And a few minutes later, the reinforcements start to arrive. Sorcerer 1-1 is the first to arrive on station, just absolutely zooming through there, followed by the A-10 flights, and the AV-8B has managed to catch up. At this point we're all just looking, searching for ground targets. Between me and Flame we have spotted some of the moving targets. Nice Life also has eyes on some of the moving targets there. We're just trying to divide them up between us. But during the same time, Wolfhound here is very nicely just in this hover, nicely in position, and he fires off again there. Nice Life misinterpreted the missile launch there, and so it goes evasive. Very easy to do. After this we were much better at communicating our launches. Because unfortunately, with the lack of visibility, the missile warning system was our main way of knowing that something had been fired at us. There we go, another hit, another dead BMD. Now here I'm going in on this little pair. I fire off my rockets, my laser rockets. I have somewhat messed up during my setup here, and I think I've ended up with some weapons on one frequency and some weapons on another frequency, so very much not performing as we would want them to. You can see Flame Haze here coming in, firing off his rockets. Nice Life was tracking my targets at the same time, so as soon as I called that I'd missed, he follows up with one of his own. Flame takes out an entire infantry group there. Nice Life gets a good, decent hit on that BMD. So this stage all looking pretty good. Couldn't see the convoy that we're escorting has managed to get a fair distance down. They're taking this route down E61, then Suez is here across E75, and then it's this junction that they retreat after that. You can see here once again Tomster just picking out these targets one at a time, really doing an incredible job at holding the line early on. But we can also see at the same time there are a lot of units, and quite a few of them have already arrived at the airfield. They've taken control of the airstrip itself. And we do actually have Flame Haze here taking some fire from this Shilka in this lead convoy group. Now we're getting quite a few of the other jets on station. We've got Vamp in his F-16, Alpha Kill in his F-18 arriving, and we've got the two ship of Jeff's Ranger and Arnold, well, Judas, coming in. So we have a lot on station, but there is a lot on the ground here. Another missile launched there by Tomster, and that is nicely on its way. Nice Life has completed his pass and so is making another run at that same pair of BMDs. And he gets a nice hit, as does Tomster. And once again, Tomster just firing another one. Definitely doing a huge amount of damage here at the start. Everyone else is just searching for targets. We do start to get eyes on some of these convoys at this point. And we take note because the convoys are a serious threat at this point. That's another kill to Tomster, but at this point Lightfoot is turning onto the Suez route here. Which unfortunately is the more dangerous part because they have to make it all the way down here before they can get onto the escape road and start heading away from the enemy. Here you can see that Nice Life and I are coming in. I've identified a convoy here. At the same time, Sorcerer here is diving in and he is sending off a whole load of Mavericks at this set of IMDs. Gothic has also fired on them. Unfortunately, they're all dead by the time he gets there. There were a lot of targets, it was very hard to keep track of what was going on. I do spot the Shilka at the back of this convoy, so I fire off my AGM here. And so that takes out the Shilka and very nicely causes the convoy to start to scatter, which stops their movement and opens them up to be a much nicer target for everyone else. Now, one big problem at this stage is we have mostly been focusing on this area around the airfield and doing a good job there. You can probably see here that heading towards our tank group are quite a few Iranian units that are breaking through here. This is a built up area here, but now they're coming out of the built up area and they just got a straight shot through there. And then we've got a second problem, is that there are a flight of 4 black sharks that are approaching. I believe around now is when we get alerted of their location, and that causes a lot of distraction there. Back over onto this main group though, we've seen Nice Life has picked out the targets and starts firing off his Mavericks at the tanks. And get several nice big hits there, doing a lot of damage. Here we have Judas coming in using these laser guided rockets, which are fairly hefty, the ones that the Jeff has. And you can see there, whips off a couple of them and good decent hits on the Shilka pair there, which are a major source of the enemy air defense. Tomster still here in his perfect little hover, just plinking away at this easternmost group. You can see the enemy tanks have taken a lot of damage here. Flame comes in with his Mavericks, gets a decent hit there. That column has been rather horrendously reduced. And still Tomster here, just doing the absolute legwork for our side. Another missile goes up. And sure enough, that is another kill for him. And this is this westernmost convoy scattering at this point. That is the Shilka out. And so they are starting to steadily lose their air defense. Here I have Judas coming in again. Another laser-guided rocket launch towards this Shilka set that have taken up a defensive position just north of the airfield, and that is that Shilka down, meaning the enemy have lost all of their air defense on the western side here, sorry, the eastern side here. They do still have quite a lot in these two major tank columns coming through. There we have Vamp coming back in with AGM 65s and just launching a bunch of them. One of them seems to go a bit squiffy there. One does absolutely nail one of the tanks. I'm not sure what this one is tracking. Might well be a building in the airfield that got misidentified there. Still, that is us really dominating on the east, but as I said, the big problem is over here in the west, we have a much bigger problem. The tanks are starting to open fire though. These are Abram tanks that we've got on our side, and they are more than happy to deal with these T-55s and BMDs that are approaching, but these two Iranian columns, which include T-72s, are a much bigger threat. Now over here we do have the arrival of the Black Sharks. Already seen missile has been launched on them, but it gets flared away. Sorcerer is flaring, trying to evade, because these Black Sharks do have a nasty bite back when they want to. They are armed with Ilgas in this, they are capable of doing a lot, and it's really important that we keep them away from the convoy, because these could absolutely annihilate the convoy in next to no time. We do also have the arrival of the F-14s in Hardy, Stroder and Dougie. They are all really trying to hunt for these Black Sharks at this point. See me off to one side, I'm basically ignoring the Black Sharks, so I figure there's more than enough hunting them, and I've seen some of the fire coming up from around the tanks, and so know that something's going on here. And so trying to hunt down. I do see the initial engagement here with these initial tanks taking fire. Lucky the tanks do take out the guiding vessel there just before it goes. What I don't notice is the massive convoy coming in. Now there we go, the first kill. I believe that goes to Vamp there, taking out this group, and now these Black Sharks know they've been seen. They do start to go a little bit more evasive. Tomster at this point, I believe, is out of missiles, so he's just closing in with guns, but doing a good job hitting these BMDs. Black Sharks are nicely still in formation. Can see a lot hunting them, but it's dark, it's very low level, hard to get a lock on anything that's going on here. Ranger here fires off a set of laser guided rockets which work surprisingly well against helicopters. Unfortunately it just misses there, and the helicopters keep going through. laser rockets do work really well, especially with helicopters that can dump as many flares as the Black Sharks can. You can't flare a laser. Unfortunately, they're not the most manoeuvrable things, so if the enemy helicopter does move, it is a bit of a problem. And here, as all this is going on, we do have a problem. There is a pair of BMDs that have almost reached the convoy. And I do get some guns there. Sorcerer makes a guns pass in the area. Groovy makes a pass but pulls off. Judas fires out. Again, first missile takes the flare. The second missile, though, does get a good hit there. So that is another one down. At this point, I do get some eyes on some of these attacking things, fire off some more rockets, but again, I'm having issues with my setup. So that one fails. Ranger here comes in, fires one that misses, second that misses. Unfortunately, Black Sharks can really dump a lot of flares when they're trying to be evasive. The Sorcerer coming in here. I'm not sure if he's weapons dry at this point, but he does have cannon. He definitely seems to be determined to use those. Does get some decent hits on that Black Shark, but it's a little bit too little compared to what the Black Shark can take. Unfortunately, that Black Shark just whips its nose around and takes out Sorcerer there. See, Nice Life though has come in and is attacking these front vehicles. Flame Haze is hunting these BMDs that are getting too close to our convoy. And you may have just seen there, Judas comes in, gets a really nice shot, takes out one of the Black Sharks. Unfortunately, the Black Shark's wingman there whips off an Ilga, and that takes down Judas. You can see over here at the front, we are getting fire being exchanged. The rear of the convoy is taking damage there. The last of the Black Sharks at this point is very much on his own and taking fire from multiple others. Tomster here trying to cover the convoy as it comes in. Groovy Flight still hunting for this last Black Shark. I think Flame Haze at this point has a laser solution on the Black Shark. See everything coming in from multiple different angles. And it's Ranger there that gets off his laser rockets, and this time they do hit nicely. That is one very dead Black Shark. So that's that threat taken care of. That all worked out quite well. We have at this point lost one of Lightfoot. They've been taken down over here. Here I've seen the target. I come in, again, lasing with not really working laser codes. Some work. I do get some decent hits. Do get a couple of other hits there, not enough to take out that tank, but enough to distract it, make it peel off, and so it's no longer attacking our vehicles. So I'm taking that as a win. Unfortunately, a rocket goes up here. We're found doing some crazy maneuvers there in order to avoid this incoming missile that's been launched at him. Unfortunately, those missiles launched from these tanks can absolutely ruin an Apache's day. So yeah, doing his best to outmaneuver it here. And he does take a hit. But for now, he keeps on trucking. See here, Flame Haze has come in, has fired his AGM off at that remaining damaged BMD. Fortunately, you may have just seen there we've lost one of the Abrams. Unfortunately here, we've not really got solid eyes on these two convoys. They're just burning across open road. Here would be really obvious during the day with the dust that they're kicking up, but here they're just absolutely not. Now, I do get eyes on this group here and start heading in, really because they're in the middle of this burning mess. What I don't think anyone spots at this point is a second convoy heading straight for the Bruiser convoy. Perfect intercept course. Gonna cause a lot of trouble there. Lightfoot does start to turn away here. They are on the home stretch now. No, I guess Wolfhound did still have rockets because he just fired off another Hellfire at that main convoy. Fortunately, as I said, no one's really noticed that this other convoy is right here. I do see the convoy and flare vaguely overhead to try and notify people. Tomster is now taking fire from the other convoy and has to go evasive. Here I'm getting quite desperate to try and defend our friendly tanks, which are taking a hell of a beating. So go straight in on this convoy, make a guns pass. And unfortunately don't get any kills, and the Shilka rather opens up, and right now their convoy has just entered their anti-tank missile range of our Abrams, and so they start picking off the Abrams. Same time the second convoy has just reached weapons range of Bruiser here and is really starting to do the damage. Dumpster fires off again. Good missile, but you can just see the number of anti-tank rockets that have been launched here. Thompson does take out that Shilka, so that's one less thing to worry about, but you can see all of these coming in. Very, very problematic. And the second volley of missiles coming from the other Iranian group. And so our losses are kind of piling high here. Lightfoot nicely is free and clear, and they are evacuating. Wolfhound at this point just opening up with his cannon. Gothic has dropped a bomb. I don't know the Jeff's bombs very well. He's dropped something. Oh, this is a cluster munition. Yeah, so there you can see the cluster munition going off, doing a huge amount of damage to all sorts of targets. Here I'm going in. Our tanks have unfortunately been wiped out. I do get a couple of Mavericks off, but then I get absolutely slapped by their Shilka. So do take out a couple of them, but huge amount of damage there. I don't recover. That is me gone in. Very nicely, Wolfhound's desperate attack here has largely distracted this convoy. Between him and Ranger's cluster bomb, we've severely weakened them. Bruiser, you can see, does take really bad casualties on this section though. They're down to about half strength at this point. I'm just trying to peel away. So a few more shots coming in, a couple more of these anti-tank rounds have been launched. So there's an awkward part of the convoy. They kind of have to come off the road to make best speed around this intersection. Just the DCS AI doesn't like intersections, so I just made them come off the road here. But nicely, these BMDs do lose line of sight, and so those missiles go dumb. The tanks are still here, still firing, do get a hit, but not enough to take these guys out. Ranger here though, coming in with his laser guided rockets on these already damaged tanks. They did already take quite a beating from the cluster rounds. So it gets a good couple of hits in there. Nice Life has just come in, firing off a Maverick at the remaining Iranian convoy. Most of these convoys are now either trying to scatter or have come to a stop. They can't really pursue the fast-moving IFVs here. There you go, Nice Life takes out the last shulker, and so that is air defense pretty much gone at this point. Wolfhound decides at this point just to keep an eye on the actual convoy, clear the road ahead of them in case it needs to be cleared. Meanwhile, everyone else in the area just starts going in to try and take out as many remaining units as possible. And over here, Gothic again. Ranger just pounding these enemy vehicles. They are quite heavily armoured, so the laser-guided rockets are definitely not one-hit killing these things. He's definitely doing a lot of damage to what is left here. Vamp still on station, Nice Life still on station, and Flame Haze circling. Yeah, at this point, it's really just a case of us trying to do as much damage as we can. The convoy, or what's left of it, has gotten through, and so everyone's just taking turns firing at any hostile vehicle that we happen to spot. AGM's going in all directions here. Laser rockets smacking what's left of their convoys. And so yeah, after a little bit of cleaning up, that is pretty much that. The convoy does continue to evac, there's nothing in pursuit of it now. So we do get away with 9 out of the 10 light vehicles survive, and I believe we had 5 out of the 10 medium vehicles getting through. Fortunately, all the tanks were destroyed, but they did hold off the enemy quite solidly for as long as they did. And then while we're just waiting for the friendly convoy to make it to safe territory, I did just end up buddy lasing overhead because Ion Fighter was having quite a lot of issues getting the Harrier to work, especially as the waypoints had failed. So I was just buddy lasing for him. He does get off a laser Maverick here. Well, at this point is pretty much the last identified vehicle that is remaining in the area. And nicely enough, nice hit. Nice little victory. And there. And then shortly later, everyone decided to RTB as soon as their units were clear. So yeah, really fun mission. Really did enjoy that. Was definitely challenging fighting at night. In terms of our success, yeah, lost half of the medium convoy, but all of the light convoy got through except for one. Losing the tanks wasn't ideal, but they made their choice staying behind to defend. We did take a few air losses there, a few accidents, mostly getting shot down by either the Black Sharks got a good couple of kills, and then the Shilkers did a number on a couple of us. So we did take losses. The enemy did obviously take heavy losses. But yeah, mission successful, so big thank you to everyone here who took part, and thank you all at home for watching, and hopefully you'll join me for the next one of these videos, which will be happening in not too distant future. Till then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.